It got itchy, so I shaved it. Jamie Carragher ended up in a bit of a pickle today, yesterday, or the day before, depending on when you're watching this. Maybe it was last year. I don't know. But Jamie Carragher ended up, but he did it to himself, as he so often does in his playing career and afterwards. He walked himself into a bit of a tough situation. You see, the problem for pundits is that they have to talk all the time. Now, I'm aware that this can be a serious problem because I, too, run into this problem. I talk all the time, and sometimes my opinions fucking suck, right? Sometimes they're just bad, and you're listening to them, and you're like, I mean, other times, I'm like a modern-day Socrates, but every once in a blue moon, if I accidentally forget to praise chocolate turtles, Jaffa cakes, or forget to go for a run, you guys are more than happy to remind me. And Jamie Carragher ends up in this conversation, which it's kind of pointless, right? This is just this is the whole idea behind punditry in the first place, but you're just going to end up in these conversations where it is just essentially a couple of dudes talking, right? It's just they're discussing whether Mo Salah is going to win the Ballon d'Or, okay? And now in a part of this conversation, he starts to talk about the different reasons that Mo Salah would be winning the Ballon d'Or. And he mentions Egypt, basically. Now, I don't want to get DMCA'd because DMCA recently, stuck its hand up my ass and puppeteered me for a little while. So I'm just going to summarize this or maybe show you the subtitles. I think the fact that he played with Egypt and he's probably not playing in the major tournament as such, or maybe got a great chance of winning. I think it's either Champions League or major tournament normally. You can see where he's going with this, saying that you have to play in a major tournament. You have to win a major tournament in order to win the Ballon d'Or. It's either going to be the Champions League or the Euros or Copa America or the World Cup, one of those sorts of things. Now, Egypt, at least, in the near future, is not going to be threatening for a World Cup, but it is the number one winner of AFCON. There is no nation that has ever won more Africa Cup of Nations than Egypt. I think they have like 6 or 7 of them, right? I mean, of course, the tournament happens every 2 years instead of every 4, like most other major continental tournaments. But still, Egypt is one of the best teams in Africa. They have been for a long time, and Mo Salah has nearly won AFCON. But I'm obviously getting sidetracked from the point. Jamie Carragher said that AFCON is not a major tournament. And that started a cascade of increasingly funny interactions. Now, it started with Ahmed El Mohammadi, who is a former player for the Egyptian national team and also somebody that managed to win, I believe, multiple AFCONs. Said Jamie Carragher doesn't know what a major tournament is because he never won one. AFCON is a major tournament. So proud to have won it. Okay, yes. I can confirm that Ahmed El Mohammadi has won 2 AFCONs as of right now. Obviously, this got 81,000 likes, and, people were having fun roasting Jamie Carragher. But the most important thing is it brought out the idiots. And there's nothing I love more than idiots. First, we have this dude. He's right, though. The AFCON isn't something I would want to win as a footballer. I don't class it as a major. We're going to start with the fact that you probably don't want to win it because you're not from fucking Africa. All right? I mean, that being said, I would still love to win AFCON. But, look, if you are from Nigeria, if you are from Ghana, if you are from Egypt, if you are from fucking Burkina Faso, okay, this is a tournament that means absolutely everything. It is a tournament that can cement your legacy as a footballer, right? But people that aren't from there do not understand that, much as the same way that a European would probably rather win the Euros than Copa America. Or somebody from Asia would probably, rather win the Asian Cup, right? Ask South Korea how badly they want to win the Asian Cup. They haven't won it since 1960. You think that would be a big deal for Son Heung-min and the boys to rock up and actually be able to beat Japan, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia and take the Asian Cup? That would be a huge deal. There would be massive parties in the streets. Same with any nation that wins AFCON. I don't know if you follow this, by the way. If you don't follow this, then you probably haven't been watching a lot of this channel because we obviously stay up to date on AFCON. I know, I'm not an idiot, that the best teams in the world are not in AFCON. Some of them are. You gonna tell me Nigeria on its best day can't give everybody a game? Egypt on its best day can't give everybody a game? Senegal of World Cup knockout positioning can't give everybody a game on their best day? Not to mention the depth of quality that a team like Mali, which would qualify backflipping out of Asia, cannot qualify for the World Cup out of Africa. It's too damn hard. Africa gives Europe a run for its money in one category. The number of teams that are like pretty good. Europe obviously has a lot of great teams. All right, but then we get to somebody like this. Carragher won the UCL, something you never even participated in, which is a fair retort. Winning the AFCON isn't a flex. Every single European country would manage that. First of all, I don't think Gibraltar or San Marino are going to be having a very good time at AFCON. But I know what this is it is a brain dead take, even if I actually take it seriously, because pretending that teams like Romania and Bulgaria, or even a team like Sweden or Austria would roll into AFCON and dominate these teams is foolhardy. You know why? Because those teams aren't making it as far in major international competitions as the best African teams. They're just not. And before you throw Egypt's World Cup performances at me, they are an outlier. I don't know what's wrong with Egypt. They do really well in AFCON. They do horrifically in every World Cup situation. They didn't make the World Cup for over 20 years. Obviously, there's been a lot going on within Egypt, and there is a highly political league situation that doesn't allow a lot of that Egyptian talent to actually be able to leave and develop. Mo Salah had to go on TV and basically beg to be allowed to go to Basel in order to start his European career, if you're caught up on all of the lore there. So if you're thinking, well, Egypt's won it all these times, but they don't do a lot at the World Cup. Yeah, all the other African nations do, though. And then there's the person that's maybe a bit less of an idiot. His point is valid. Salah would have won the Ballon d'Or by now if he played for Real Madrid and was Spanish. Even though I agree with that, it's hard to live in a world where there are so many hypotheticals. They go on to say that the only reason Rodri won was because he won with Man City in Spain. Don't you see it? I mean, yeah, that's why he won. That's why Jorginho finished third in the Ballon d'Or voting. Because at the end of the day, the Ballon d'Or is a popularity contest. We are electing the 8th grade class president here. This is not some quantifiable thing. It is people, often very weird people with very weird opinions, that are voting on who should be the Ballon d'Or winner. But Ahmed El-Mohammadi was not the only person roasting Jamie Carragher. That lovely mantle fell to John Obi Mikel, who also is somebody that has won AFCON. And that is, of course, a mantle that Nigeria really wishes it could get back to right now, considering they just missed the most recent World Cup.
African Nations tournament is shit. It's shit. That it has no value because it's not Euros or the Copa America. He can fuck off. Never won the Premier League, analyzes teams and tell them, oh, they have to win the Premier League, but you haven't won it.
Yeah.
You don't know what it takes to win the fucking Premier League. You don't know what it takes to win, with your national team.
Yeah.
If the people in charge run the football properly, everything is in structure. Yes, do you think the players from Africa would be rushing to come down to Europe to play? No, they wouldn't. 2 billion watched the last tournament.
Yeah.
And you call it a small tournament. It's so disrespectful what he said. And this is coming from somebody who never won any, major international competition with England. Well, he has to play to win, and he never did both.
Damn. John Obi Mikel going all the way in and twice on Sunday. Okay. Just absolutely no holds barred trashing Jamie Carragher for this. There are people tweeting out the number of goals versus the number of own goals that Jamie Carragher had in his career. And then the debate starting not a single African center back is better than Carragher. And they're going back and forth. Even Joey Barton, the most contemptible person on the face of the earth, chiming in. AFCON isn't a major tournament unless you're brown and or from Africa. Stop trying to gaslight people. It's not racism. It's just facts. If you have to put it in parentheses, it's probably not facts. Also, Joey Barton, you beat women. So, opinion invalid, I guess. You're just a piece of shit. But the only reason I bring that up, normally I wouldn't mention him, is this hilarious tweet of Jamie Carragher waking up this morning and finding out Joey Barton is the only person on his side. All of this happening while Jamie Carragher, I believe, was being completely mischaracterized on what he was actually saying. John Obi Mikel got his dunks in, Ahmed El-Mohammadi got it sent in, but we have to remember here, right, that what is going on is not Jamie Carragher actually saying that AFCON is not a major tournament, although he actually said those words. What he was attempting to say, and what he tweeted out that he was attempting to say, right, is that Mo Salah is at a disadvantage for the Ballon d'Or voting, right? There's a huge, huge difference to me, maybe not to you, between him going, oh, he won AFCON. What's the big deal? Nobody gives a shit about that tournament, that lousy tournament that nobody cares about. That tournament doesn't matter. He should stay and play for Liverpool instead. This is ridiculous, right? There's a huge difference between that, which he did not do, and basically having a conversation about the Ballon d'Or and going, I see AFCON's not really seen as big of a tournament as Copa. If he had just worded it that way, he wouldn't be getting shit on everywhere. This is just the way the internet works sometimes. Like, he gets caught in punditry wording something the wrong way and saying the words, AFCON is not a major tournament. You can clip that and send it to John Obi Mikel. You can send it to Ahmed Al-Mohammadi, right? You can start massive Twitter brawls. You can fire up the racists, right? You can do whatever you want with that clip, right? But what he's saying is that AFCON is not put in the same category by Ballon d'Or voters as the Euros or Copa America. He's not arguing whether it should be or not. He's just saying that that's, and let's be honest for a second. That's true. That's definitely true. If you win the Euros and you're Rodri, the voters for the Ballon d'Or are going to consider that much more important than winning AFCON. I actually give Carragher a lot of respect for coming out and tweeting that. He could have just done what a lot of people do when they start getting lit up on the internet and just kind of let it pass. He went a little too far. He said, like, if Salah had an average season at LFC but won the AFCON and was MVP, I don't think he'd win the Ballon d'Or. And it's like, yeah, if you have an average season at your club, you win best player at the World Cup, you're still not going to win the Ballon d'Or. That's never how it worked for any major international tournament ever. But the fact that he is at a disadvantage for playing, because he plays for Egypt and because they play in AFCON instead of the Euros, he's at a disadvantage in the eyes of the Ballon d'Or voters. I think that is a pretty inarguable fact. The AFCON, I am a champion of. I think it is an awesome tournament, and we follow it religiously here on stream, everywhere. But the Euros is the most talented right now, the most talented in the number of, if you want like numbers and facts, the number of highest ranked clubs, the most number of World Cup winners, the most talented tournament, and so winning it is credited more in the Ballon d'Or voting. But the Ballon d'Or is also subjective. It is an award that is given out in Europe, and so there are other factors that overweight the importance of something like the Euros relative to AFCON. Or there's a million different things that go into this. Do I think Jamie Carragher is actually a stark, raving, mad, racist piece of shit who hates AFCON? No. Do I think it was funny how hard he got roasted? Yes. But did he actually mean it in the way that other people took it? No, not really. And he did win a Champions League. Like, I know he didn't win the Prem, but it's not like the guy won nothing, right?